Today I'm going to teach you guys how to do one of my favorite things, and the best part is it saves you a little bit of money and it's really good for you. It's cooking. I'm going to teach you guys how to cook something very simple. The reason I learned how to do this is because I was tired of when my father always went out every Friday night with his girlfriend and they went to go get food. It was always, here's $20 for pizza. Well, as a kid I was tired of eating pizza because I started feeling really, really bad and not eating healthy. So finally I decided to spend a lesser amount and feed not only me, but have a couple friends come over, feed them as well, or just a nice simple date night for me and my fiance. And also, girls, the way to a guy's heart is if you can cook. I do all the cooking. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. No vegetarians, but this was Roscoe. And this is how to cook beer can chicken. But don't worry, I didn't bring any beer to school. So it's very simple to get started. I actually started with one of the first steps since I did not have running water here in the class. What you're going to do is very simple. So you take the chicken, when you get it in the package, go to the store, there are usually a lot of them. This is the only worst part about it. As you can see, there's the cavity right there. You have to just reach inside, do it over the sink, and take out, it's all loose, just dump it out. Dump it out in the sink, grab it with a towel, don't even look at it, throw it away if you want it. Just kind of reach in there a little more, scrape it out, and then run it under warm water. You want to run it under warm water to get all the rest of the bad fluids out, like that. Gets the bad fluids out, and then when you're done, you need to just pat dry it. Don't rub it because you're going to start to tear the skin off, because it's already loose, as you guys can already see. So now, you get started. The simplest thing to do, I'm going to pat it down a little more, let it dry, is the ingredients are simple. Usually have them around your house. Like Pam is an easy thing to use. It will act as, instead of a degreaser, it will hold on everything you need, but instead I like to use, that is not my olive oil. I like to use extra virgin olive oil because it acts as a glue. So it's simple. If you guys don't have a brush, it's very simple to do with your hands if you don't mind getting messy. But you just need to take it like that and just brush it on there. Brush it on nice and simple. Not too much, not too little. Flip Roscoe over. Don't worry, he doesn't feel a thing. Brush him back on even more. And there's that. Now after you're done with the olive oil, my favorite thing to do is that's when I get the oven started. I go ahead, you want to go up to 350 with that thing, let it preheat itself. And kind of dab that off. So you go, start the oven, 350, and then you move on to your seasoning. Now this is the best part, and I learned this from the kitchen as to why this is a healthy alternative. I go to thekitchen.com for a lot of my sources. Thekitchen.com for a lot of my sources because they have a lot of chefs who write for the New York Post, or for the New York Times, sorry. And what you get to do when you cook your own food is you get to choose your own ingredients, which is a healthy alternative already because when you go somewhere else, they have their predetermined ingredients. So instead of, let's say garlic on your pasta, you can go ahead and substitute in like an onion powder, something a little healthier for you. Now this is the best part. You can use whatever you want. You can just use the chicken itself, all by itself plain, or you can use maybe just salt and pepper or a little garlic salt. This is my own concoction right here that I make myself. It's called Big Bold Barbecue. It's got cayenne pepper, black pepper, a little barbecue seasoning in it itself. And this is the fun part. You just gotta take it, and just rub it on there. Sprinkle it on, sorry. Sprinkle it on. Pat Roscoe down. Alright. I'm gonna flip them over. And it's gonna hold because of the olive oil or Pam or whatever you decide to use. You can even use a light spreading of butter if you want. That works as well. Alright, and now Roscoe is ready. So, what I do is, I started cutting beer cans. So, I got this little guy right here. This is my beer can for the day. And I didn't bring any beer, like I said. But this is where the fun part comes in. If you don't want to use beer, and all that the beer does actually is just, it allows the fluid and the flavors that are inside to expand. So usually when I do it, I use a nice red wine that's, simple, cheap $5 bottle of wine, and it uses the flavors within to kind of get into it goes into the cavity of the chicken, and the moisture is able to go through it. But you can use beer. My brothers, in fact, they use Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew's a good one, believe it or not. And actually, if you want to go with the soda base, Dr. Pepper is really good because of the 23 flavors that are actually within the Dr. Pepper, so it's good, and it lets it out. So, now this is the fun part. Now that you're all heated up, you take the can, and you just sit them on there just like that. This one doesn't want to stay on. There we go. Alright, so that guy stays on there. Wash out my hands a little more. And then you're going to pop it in the oven for an hour and 75 minutes. An hour and a quarter to 2 hours. Now when Roscoe here is done, the easiest way to tell is if you happen to have a temperature gauge, that works just as well. You want to be up around 165. And the best way to be able to tell is you go right here up like where the breast is at and the thicker part of it, and you're going to stick it in about halfway and make sure that you do not hit the bone, because then you're not going to get an accurate reading. You're getting it off what the bone says. So now when they're done, it's very simple. You just pop them right back off his little perch there, and you set them down, and this is where you want to make sure it's, what would it say, face down, I guess, minus the face. So you take them, you want to set it like this just towards you. That's when you bring your knife into this, and I did bring one, but don't worry. I start with the wings first. So you just kind of rip them off just like this. Not going to want to rip since this one's a little rough. You rip them off this way, and then you grab the legs, and you take them, they'll come off just as easy. There's a little slice right there. If you slice them there, they rip off. You're going to feel the bone pop. It pops out, and then the rest of it just comes off. And then instead of it just being the drumstick, it comes off with the whole piece, which is nice. Get a lot of meat in there. And this one here will serve one person in itself. Finish it off. Take this right here. You'll feel the bone. There's a bone that runs right down there. It's basically what would be kind of like their spine or their rib cage area. And you stick the knife down in there. You go as far as you can, smoothly, and keep going. If you hit a little bone, try to move your hand a little bit. Keep going, and then just peel it off, and you will have probably one of the thickest pieces of chicken breast that you'll ever have right there in front of you. It's always going to be tender. Very hard to overdo this kind of chicken because of all the moisture that is inside of it, and it expands out through it. And the best part is, like I said, it's a lot healthier for you because you get to make it yourself. You're choosing your own ingredients. That's why we kind of use an extra virgin olive oil, and the seasoning isn't that horribly bad for you. So you're just going off the chicken, and you get to feed a bunch of people. Yeah, it is. It's a kind of a lengthy process, but it's nice. You get a nice bottle of wine with you. And so once your chicken's done, you go ahead, sit down. Like I said, have a glass of wine, and enjoy your dinner. You can do it. Goes well with rice. Kind of goes well with whatever you want: green beans, vegetables. So today what I did is I taught you how to make a healthy alternative for like an end night. Instead of having to go out and break your bank account, go get one of these little bad boys for maybe $10, if that. So, and it's so much healthier for you, and you can look up on any website to find out how to cook it. Like I said, go ahead, preheat to 350. And then cook for an hour and a quarter to 2 hours and 165, and that's what you want. If you don't have a thermometer, cut it open, and if it's too pink, keep it in. You want it nice and moist and white. So that's how you make a whole chicken.